They don't lead, they perform. They don't solve problems, they sell you slogans. And somewhere along the way, politics stopped being about public service and became about a pathway to influence, Instagram followers, and private dinners with donors. Populism didn't save democracy, it sold it out. And we are the ones left paying the price. Now, once upon a time, politicians stood for something. They built movements, they had political philosophies. Whether you agreed with them or not, they were liberals, conservatives, socialists, or libertarians. Worldviews competing to shape society. But now, it's not about policy, it's about popularity. Today's politicians are not leaders, they're marketeers. They say whatever gets applause, they promise everything and deliver nothing. The ideology isn't left or right, it's whatever polls well. It's not about ideas, it's about image. And the only qualification for power now is being able to win it. Scroll through social media and look what gets views. It's not well-researched proposals or nuanced discussions. It's outrage, it's drama, it's the latest tweet. Populism turned politics into a content game. Politicians now measure success by followers and engagement. Speeches are written for viral clips, not legislation, and entire political movements are built around influencer energy, not principles. The problem isn't just that we elect bad leaders, the problem is that we're now rewarding the worst ones with attention, reach and power. And once they're in, they just keep performing, because that's what populism demands. Constant noise, constant outrage and never results. Politics used to be a sacrifice, now it's a stepping stone. A place to climb the ladder from parliament to media gigs, book deals, private consultancies or board positions. The job isn't to serve, the job is to build a personal brand. In the UK, especially, politics has become a revolving door between lobbying firms, think tanks, wealthy donors, media platforms, and the worst part, many of them don't even want to win. They just want to be relevant enough to stay in the game. They don't fear failure, they fear obscurity. That's why you'll see the same faces election after election saying the same lines with no intent to deliver. Populist politics thrives on saying just enough to get support, but never enough to alienate anyone with real power. So you get vague. Performative politics. We need change. The system is broken and we're listening. But nothing ever really happens. Because doing something real requires taking a side. And populists can't risk upsetting anyone who might fund, promote or vote for them. So we get half measures, watered down policies, consultations instead of commitments, and photo ops instead of action. They talk about courage, but most of them are terrified of losing the spotlight. And when you build your political strategy around being angry, you stop solving problems and start feeding the mob. Populism isn't about progress, it's about enemies. Immigrants, the elite, the woke, the media, protesters, anyone different. And this us versus them narrative becomes so powerful it drowns out policy altogether. Why fix housing when you can just blame refugees? Why fix wages when you can just talk about leftist cancel culture? This isn't leadership, this is weaponized distraction. Populism gives you something to hate and calls it politics. So what happens when the system is being run by careerists who don't believe in anything? Infrastructure crumbles, public services are hollowed out, trust in democracy collapses, voter turnout drops, and fringe movements rise. People get disillusioned, cynical, apathetic, or worse, even radicalized. Because if no one at the top is real, people will start looking anywhere for authenticity, even if that authenticity comes from someone dangerous, extreme, or even incompetent. When leaders don't lead, the worst voices get the microphone. Now, populism might win elections, but it kills legitimacy. It breeds chaos, it empties politics of meaning, and eventually people stop believing in anything. We're left with governments that don't govern, opposition that doesn't oppose, and a public that doesn't even care because they know it's all a show. And in that vacuum, the problems don't disappear, they get worse. Inequality, climate collapse, housing, healthcare, debt. These are real problems and they don't care how popular you are, they can't be solved with a tweet. Populism promised to return power to the people, but it gave it to performers instead. We don't need louder politicians, we need braver ones. People who'd rather lose an election than lie to win it. Until then, we're stuck in a political system that rewards appearance over action, loyalty over honesty, and slogans over solutions. And if we don't break the cycle, the only thing that will keep growing is the number of problems no one's willing to fix.